Great day, kings and queens. Yeah. Welcome to another conversation with Drew. This is a magnificent Monday. Don't it feel good to be alive? I know it does. Wow, man, such an honor, man, to come to you before you guys and share this gift. It's truly humbling, to be able to share the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that I've gained through my experiences and the experiences of others, and through studying, and it's causing me to become the best version of myself. I'm in hopes that what I shared with you this morning, will cause you to become the best version of yourself, man. This is a magnificent Monday. Yeah, man. Oh, man, it's awesome. It feels good, man. This is going to be an awesome joint. I need that, I'm sorry. I needed to share this one, what's going on, King. I needed to share this one with you guys this morning, man. That fear of abandonment, please don't leave me. I did a piece yesterday. I had an opportunity. Great morning, Queen. I had an opportunity to do this piece, this radio interview yesterday, and it was talking me, when we were talking about abandonment and the power of it. First, I want to start off, thanking God, the Most High, man, for giving me the opportunity, man, to really do this, man. Y'all have no idea how much this has saved my life when I was going through hardships and struggles, when I was trying to learn, myself even more, this right here, man, coming before you guys, man, has really truly blessed me, man, has truly kept me. Let me get into this action. So the fear of abandonment, man, we have no idea how much that affects our lives, how much it impacts our lives, how much it destroys our lives. It's truly something that that has to be talked about. It's something that has to be resolved. It's something that must become a conversation. We're growing up in a society where a lot of kids, a lot of young kings and queens are growing up without fathers, and they are becoming very, very destructive. And so it's so amazing, kings and queens, this morning, man. Again, yesterday, man, the interview truly blessed me. But it's so amazing because once you understand the detriments of abandonment, and which leads to rejection, it truly helps you to understand what you need in life in order for you to express yourself to the fullest capacity, to truly maximize your potential. And so the detriments of abandonment is horrific. Growing up, again, without a father, I didn't understand. I couldn't consciously understand, the detriments of abandonment and what it was causing me to become and what it was doing to me. A few of those things it caused me to become a liar. It caused me to become an avid liar, habitual liar. And the reason why I became a habitual liar is because I was afraid that if I failed somebody or if somebody was disappointed in me, that they would abandon me, they would leave me. And so what I did is I began to manipulate the situations. I began to become deceptive. I began to become deceptive because I was trying to figure out how I can get this person not to leave me because I made a mistake. You know what I mean? So it caused me to become a liar. It caused you to be afraid of rejection, and so you won't maximize your output. You won't go to the extreme. You won't go to the edge and leap because you are afraid of being rejected. That can be rejected in business. That can be rejected in friendship. You can be afraid to be rejected in relationships. You can be afraid to be rejected just even to go up to somebody and say hi. And you are seeing that in today's society, especially with the millennials. You are seeing that in today's society, how they are so afraid of being rejected. So many young kings don't even know the ability to be able to go up to a young woman and say hi. Hi, my name is Drew Clayborn. I saw you, from across the room with whoop-de-whoop. I just wanted to get to know your name. They are afraid to do that because they are afraid of rejection because they have been abandoned. That's why so many young kings and queens are out here in the streets gang banging. You know what I mean? Because they have been abandoned. That's why so many of them out here are selling drugs, because they have been abandoned and they do not recognize the destruction that's being caused by that fear of abandonment, by that fear of rejection. And so they are going to a place that feels comfortable for them, regardless of if it's destructive. I seen how I was growing up and how I was a womanizer, how I was, in and out of, this friendship, that friendship, and really didn't even know how to cultivate a real friendship, to be truthful. But the reality of it is that I was in and out of different situations in different women's lives because of that fear of abandonment. And so if I felt, the slightest inclination that this person may be ready to leave, I'm dashing. I'm moving. You know what I mean? Because you're not about to leave me. But then this is what became sad, is that I was able to harden my heart so much that even if somebody left me, it did not matter. I remember when my son's mom left me, right? This is what was so crazy. I mean, wiped out the whole, whole apartment. If I ain't have nothing in that apartment, I would have been sitting there on dust bunnies, right? But I remember when she left me that I made myself not feel anything. And the problem with that is that when you have been abandoned, you are afraid to become vulnerable. And if you do not become vulnerable in any friendship or any relationship, business or intimate, it's a guarantee that you will not have true love, or you will not experience true love. You will not experience the full capacity of that friendship or relationship because you have to be vulnerable. And so what it did to me is I was able to harden my heart. So it didn't matter who you were, how bad you were, you know what I mean, how long we've been involved. If you left me, I was able to harden my heart to feel nothing. I became numb. And that's not the truth, all based off of the fear of abandonment. Because my father wasn't there, I was afraid of everybody else leaving me like that. Because my father wasn't there, I was afraid of everyone walking out of my life. Because my father wasn't there, I didn't even know how to really truly establish real relationship with people. Because again, that fear of abandonment wouldn't allow me to become vulnerable. Vulnerable is your true nature, kings and queens. That's a reality. Being vulnerable is your true nature. That's why those who have lasting marriages right now, they have become vulnerable. They have been vulnerable to that other person. They are not afraid. You can't go into any situation, any friendship, any relationship with that fear of abandonment. It's very destructive. And it was just so amazing being able to share it yesterday because the fear of abandonment and not having that father figure there. And this is so important to you, kings and queens, all across the globe. It doesn't matter what race, what ethnicity, what religion. This is so powerful about this thing called abandonment. We have to get this thing under control because it says in Malachi that he will turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children and the hearts of the children back to the fathers. This is what restores the order. I guarantee it is statistically proven that when a father is not in a home, that kids' grades drop, that kids are less interested in school, that kids' output is less. It does not take away from you, queens. I promise you. I've had the greatest mother known to man. Rhonda Clayborn is the greatest mother known to man, in my opinion. You understand me? But there was something missing in my life, and I always knew that. With my father not being there, there was something that was missing in my life, and I knew that, kings and queens, innately and intrinsically. You know the same exact thing. I've dated so many women, or I've been in friendships with so many women that had daddy issues, as we call them, that never grew up with a father, or if their father was there, their father wasn't present. You understand me? He was just physically there, but he wasn't present. He wasn't active, kings and queens. And they always were searching for that validation. They always were searching for that approval for a man. They was always searching for that comfort from being in the arms of a father-like figure. You've seen that across the globe. Come on, kings and queens. I know y'all know this to be true. Whether you've experienced this as a king with a queen, or whether you are the queen experiencing this, you know this to be true. Because this is what's important, kings and queens. This is why abandonment is so destructive. Because we need our fathers, kings and queens. We need our fathers in their positions. And again, queens, this is not taking anything away from you, but I'm speaking from my experience. I'm speaking from my research. I'm speaking from my studies, and I'm truly seeing the detriment of abandonment and how it is so impactful in our lives, kings and queens. Great morning, Tom Brady. Yeah, you understand me? You're looking at the greatest. Yeah. Check this out, though. This is what's so powerful, right? Because as I was growing up as a young king, and I didn't have my father, my natural father in my life showing me certain things, I was never validated. I never heard those words from my father, right? This is what's so powerful, kings and queens. Check this out, right? When you understand true authority through your gift and through your purpose, this all ties into your purpose. This is why I love, the Creator, because it all makes sense. This all ties into your purpose, right? True authority is expressing yourself through your gift over the domain you were created to have, right? The domain that you were created to rule over. So, for instance, LeBron James is ruling over the domain of basketball, or Tom Brady is ruling over the domain of football. You understand what I'm saying? And it doesn't have to come through your physical or athletic prowess. That was just some examples for you guys. We were all created to have true authority over a domain through the expression of our gifts, right? That's just the reality. You can't get around that. Anytime you see somebody like a Nelson Mandela or Muhammad Ali or Martin Luther King or Helen Keller, they expressed their gifts over their domain. Some was over homelessness. Some was over inequality. Some was over genocide and apartheid. Whatever your gift is, that's where you're supposed to express your true authority in, right? So stay with me, kings and queens. This is all tied to abandonment, right? This is what's so powerful. A father is supposed to be there to validate that child. And through that, the authority of that father, all authority must submit under authority. Period, point blank. Give you an example. Okay, as powerful as plants are, and we know that plants give off oxygen, and we know that plants receive carbon dioxide. Check this out, right? As powerful as it was designed to be, that's the authority of the plant. Nobody has to validate that plant, right? That plant was designed to give off oxygen. Check this out. But that plant's authority still has to submit under the authority of the sun, because the sun also gives to that plant, but it has to submit under that authority for it to have its authority. It does not make the plant weak. It does not make the plant useless. It does not take away from the plant's authority, but it has to submit under it. It's called order. That's why it said in the beginning. In the beginning, the Most High created the heavens and the earth, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and it was void and without form, meaning that it was chaotic, meaning that it had no order. Check this out, kings and queens. This is what's so dope about understanding the power of abandonment. Check this out. It said that he spoke the word, right? He spoke the word to bring form and order to the earth. Why? Because it said, let everything be done decently and in order. So you have to understand that there's an order to things. There are principles and laws to things, right? And so what abandonment does is that it does not allow you, kings and queens, to be under somebody's authority. It does not allow you to be released per se. Why is that? Give you another example. When Dr. Yeshua, right? When Jesus was on the earth, check this out, God in the flesh. This is what's so powerful. It was time for him to be baptized by John the Baptist. This is what's so dope. Check this out. He knew who he was. John the Baptist knew who he was. But when he came to John like, hey man, you the coldest pimp. You understand me? You God in the flesh. You the one that needs to be baptizing me. He said, no, that's not the order. That's not how it goes. He said, you the one who came with the kingdom message first. You're the very first one that said, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. In order for me to be released on this natural realm, on this earth realm, you have to baptize me, John. He knew order. Jesus Christ knew that his authority in the earth realm had to submit under the authority of John to be released. Now, it did not take any power away from him. It did not take any authority away from him, but he knew order. He knew how it worked. And so what I'm saying to you, kings and queens, is that in order for me to be released, I had to submit under the authority under my natural father. That's what abandonment does. It literally takes you out of position. It literally causes people to be out here trying to operate in authority, and they never been submitted under any authority. And that's why it's destructive. That's why the streets are destructive. That's why these neighborhoods are destructive, because you have so many young kings out here who have not submitted their authority under their father's authority to be released. You say, Drew, how does this all tie in together? As soon as John baptized Jesus, this is what's so dope, man. Don't get this twisted, man. These is real facts. These is real truths. Listen to how this works. When he was baptized, this says that the heavens opened up, the sky parted ways, and it said that the voice of the Lord came and said, this is my son who I am very well pleased. He validated him. He validated him. Now imagine if that voice never happened. He validated him. And that's what you're missing as a king and queen when you have been abandoned by your father. When you haven't experienced that, son, I'm proud of you. Listen, I was always searching for that, man. I have the greatest mother in the earth. I have the greatest mother that man can have. But man, her words would not resonate in my spirit like my father's did. And so that's why I had to go to my natural father, and we had to reconcile things. We had to love each other, start a relationship, because when he said to me, son, I'm so proud of the king you become. I'm so proud of the man that you become. That was something that no other man in this earth can give me. But it released me. It released the person that y'all see before you kings and queens today. The validation of a father is so necessary in a child's life, and that's why when we are abandoned, we are destructive. We are destructive to our bodies. We are destructive to our minds. We are destructive to our communities. We are destructive because when you are afraid of being abandoned and have not been validated, you will be destructive. This is what's so dope about this, kings and queens. I'm telling you, man, it's so dope how it all ties together. I don't know where it comes from, but I know it comes from up above. It's so dope. Check this out, kings and queens. This is what's so dope, is that as soon as he was validated, he went into the wilderness to be tempted and tested. This is what's so dope, man. Get these jewels this morning, man. These aren't mine. I freely give them away. Check this out, right? So when you are going into these tempting moments or these tests in your life, the reason why you continue to crumble is because you have not been validated to know how great you are. You have not been validated to know what you are here to do in your purpose. You have not been validated to know that you have the authority and the power to overcome your circumstances and situation. That's why abandonment is so destructive, because we have been going into tests and temptations. We have been going into trials in our lives, and we have not been able to sustain ourselves because we have not been validated. So we don't know our greatness. We don't know that we have authority to rule over our circumstances and situations because we have been abandoned. Listen, again, I'm not speaking from things I've read. I'm speaking from my own personal life. I got my father, my natural father, and my spiritual father at the same time. After 30 plus years, I could have had a spiritual father, but I got them both at the same time because what was inside of me had to submit under authority in order for me to be released into the earth to express the greatness that's inside of me. I know a lot of you right now is like, man, you know what I mean? Like, my father wasn't there. You know what I mean? Dude, you know what I mean? I don't really need to hear, him say that he proud of me. You know what I mean? I can care less, man, if he dead or he alive. Listen to me, man. That's pride. That's pride. That is pride, kings and queens talking. That ain't the real you talking, because the real you, when you was a kid, you wanted your father there. I don't care who you are, what ethnicity, what religion, what creed, what part of the country. You wanted your father if he wasn't there, period. Because it's innate, it's intrinsic. It's inside of you. It's a natural proclivity to want your presence of your father there because it was designed to be that way. As great as your mother is. Listen, every opportunity that I'm going to have when the mic in front of my face, cameras on, whatever the case may be, I'm going to always give thanks to my mother for being the queen that she is and what she has done to my life. But there was no greater validation in my life than when my natural father told me after 30 plus years how proud of me he is. We need that, kings and queens. It's not to make you weak. It's to release you. You need to be released. Like I said, Jesus Christ knew this. He knew order. He knew how authority works. Again, the plant does not have authority or power subtracted from it by submitting to the sun. It does not. It just knows that it needs the sun's authority in order for it to be great in this earth. Period. So I needed my natural father's validation. Son, I'm proud of you. You become a great man. You know what I mean? I'm sorry for me not being there. Will you allow me to be in your life at this point, at this stage of your life? Absolutely, Pops, because I need you. I needed to be released by you, regardless of if you weren't there. Why? Because I was in my father's loins before he was born. You understand me? You got to get this work, kings and queens. You were in your father's loins before he was born. So there's a connection spiritually to your natural father that you need that validation from. Again, you become destructive when your authority is not submitted under authority. It does not matter. CEOs got vice presidents and SVPs and so forth and so on. It does not diminish their greatness. It does not diminish their position. But everybody's authority has to be submitted under one's authority. Period. Point blank. Even the CEOs, he has a board that he's submitted under. Period. It has to. It does not take away from their authority, though. It's called order, kings and queens. And when you are dealing with abandonment, you are afraid to be rejected. And when you are afraid to be rejected, you become destructive. You become fearful. You become a liar. You become a manipulator. You become a deceiver. It's guaranteed, man. I've seen it, man. I've lived it, man. I was that. It broke up my relationships that I valued. It caused me not to be the father that I knew that I could be. It caused me to be the liar that I knew that I wasn't. Truth has been brewing in my belly since I was a babe. This is who I am. This is what I was created to do. So you can only imagine not being this, lying to people, deceiving people for my own personal advancement is because of abandonment. I was afraid. I was afraid that if I let a person down, that they would leave me and walk out of my life. But man, when my natural father validated me, when he said, son, I'm proud of you, all of that went out the door. All of that went out the window. I'm not afraid of somebody walking out of my life now. It may hurt, but I'm not afraid because my father validated me. He said, son, I'm proud of you. And now I'm released into the earth to express the greatness that's inside of me. That's what you have to understand, that your true authority in your gifts and in your purpose, kings and queens, what you were born to do, it has to, man. Listen to me, kings and queens. Get off that pride stuff. Get off that pride stuff. Go find your natural father. If he's still alive, go find your natural father. Go find your natural father, man. Go to that man and share with him all the things that's on your heart. If it's resentment, share that. If it's hatred, share that. If it's love, share that. If it's the want and desire for him to be in your life, share that. I'm telling you, it's not making you weak. It's making you meek. Meek means controlled power. It means disciplined power. It doesn't make you weak. It makes you meek. You have that much strength to be able to go to a man that's hurt you, that has abandoned you your whole entire life, like I did. Like I experienced for 30 plus years. But it makes you a winner. It makes you strong. It makes you confident. It makes you bold. It makes you courageous. But it validates the greatness that's inside of you, kings and queens. He was supposed to be there. That's not your fault. It wasn't my fault. But it was my responsibility. If I wanted to be released, if I wanted this greatness to come out inside of me, I had to go to my natural father. And we have a great relationship to this day. I love my pops. We have an amazing relationship. I can call him anytime if I ever need anything. That's a blessing, man. You kings and queens, you need that, man. I don't care if you're 14, 13, 12, 10 years old, you need that. I don't care if you're 50 years old. If your natural father is still in this earth, man, go find your natural father right now, man, because you are destructive and you don't know it. That's why you in and out of beds with different women. That's why you in and out of beds with different men. You've never been validated for your greatness to be released. You're afraid. You're afraid of failing people. You're afraid of somebody walking out of your life. And so you leave first. I've been there. I've done that, kings and queens, because of my father abandoning me. I was a manipulator, deceiver, and I was great at doing it. I can lie 20 times and not get caught once. I was great at doing it. I was extremely good at deceiving and lying and manipulating people. I was extremely good at having a cold heart and not caring. But that's not me. That's not you, kings and queens. That's not who you are. So you have to understand that you have to go to your natural father. If it's to his gravesite, go to your natural father. I'm telling you, kings and queens, you have to be validated by your natural father in this earth realm, man. It don't take away anything from you. You are still a great king. You are still a great queen. But your authority has to be submitted under the authority that brought you in this earth, and that was your natural father. When God sent you in this earth, he had to send you through somebody, and he sent you through your natural father. So you have to go find that king. You have to, man. It don't matter, man. They don't care if he across the country. Get on that phone, get on that plane, do it. I'm telling you, it's going to release something in you, man. There was no greater words that I've ever heard than from my natural father who said, son, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you, son. And so I'm telling you today, kings and queens, that the fear of abandonment leads to rejection. It leads to being afraid to be rejected. And so you're going to always continue to be in and out of friendships, in and out of relationships, and you're going to be destructive. As much as you may be talented or gifted, you're still going to be destructive because you do not understand that your authority, your true authority, your gift, your purpose in life has to be submitted under authority. It has to. In order for you to become the greatest you. Now, you may do some things, but I'm saying in order for you to become the greatest you, you have to submit your true authority, your gift, your power, what's inside of you under your natural father. And once he validates you, man, listen, man, you become unstoppable. You become unstoppable. But until then, kings and queens, you're going to keep going to circumstances and situations and keep failing because you do not understand the value that's in you. You don't understand how great you are. But that's why I was sent to remind you that the greatness that's inside of you, it cannot live with the fear of abandonment and rejection. Because if you do, you'll continue to be destructive. I love you, kings and queens. Thank you guys for tuning in to another conversation with Drew. But remember, it's not a look, it's a lifestyle. Because we do this every day not to impress people, but to leave an impression on the earth. I have to say thank you to everybody who's donated to the cause and to the movement. We continue to expand. We continue to grow. And it's up to you guys to continue to help us as we help you. We love y'all. If you have not had an opportunity to donate, hit me up in my inbox. But today's message, man, is go find your natural father. If he's not in your life, if he's not validated you, go find your natural father, man, and pour out to that man. It don't matter if he in the street smoking dope, if you're alcoholic. Go find your natural father, and I guarantee you to change your life forever. I love you, kings and queens. Have a magnificent Monday and continue to be the greatest version of you. Peace.